And the observance is supposed to encourage us to take little steps to better prepare ourselves for emergencies in our homes, businesses, and our schools. All this started last year, sponsored by the Department of Homeland Security. And joining us now to talk a little bit more about how we all can better prepare ourselves, Lauren Ohl-Trlica of the Arlington County Office of Emergency Management. Lauren, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Dave.
We hear the message a lot, and that we need to be better prepared, and there are some simple things to do. But it's always sort of moving. Inertia is a powerful force, and sometimes if we're not prepared, and we know that we ought to be, let's get people started in that direction. Where is a good place to start if we are preparing for disasters that we don't see coming down the road right away?
Well, we generally want people to do three things. We want them to go ahead and be informed. We want them to know about the hazards in their area and the things they are at risk for, either at home or in their workplaces. We want people to make a plan. Making a plan, it's kind of an extensive process, but there's a lot of guidance for making a plan, either available at ready.gov, which is the FEMA website for preparedness, or locally through your American Red Cross chapter, or through local websites, offices of emergency management, and things of that nature. The third thing we want people to do is get a kit together. We generally encourage people to make what's called a go kit. And I brought one with me today.
Okay.
We have some items in here for show and tell.
And this is just a plain old backpack that you've got that you've decided to press into service here. Okay, great.
Yeah. It's a plain old backpack. Any size container will do. You want to put things in here that if you were pressed to evacuate, we could grab in a quick minute. You want to keep it kind of close to the exit of your home or your office. In it, you're going to keep things like a first aid kit. We also have an emergency radio, so you can get the information you need to know where you need to go. If you're in a hurry, we have certain snack items. You're going to need some food. We also have bottles of water in your go kit. We might also have some sanitary wipes. We also want to encourage people to keep, this is a very poor demonstration, but keep cash with them, because in the event of a power outage, you may not be able to use your credit cards or your debit cards. Also, something that's very important is bringing prescription medications or any kind of medications you may need in the event that you have to vacate your home for up to 72 hours.
This is sort of the very fundamental things that you want to have in that go kit. But I want to go back to something that you said. This is a three-pronged approach. The middle prong there is to have a plan. And this is something that I think a lot of families or individuals might sort of shy away from, because what you're trying to figure out here is what you will do if you have to evacuate. And the kids may be at school, the parents may be at work. The important thing is to try and reconnect at some point. But if you don't have a plan, something could come up between now and then you'd really be in a bad way.
Exactly. One of the points in kind of preparedness is we want people to have an out-of-state point of contact. If there was an emergency in the D.C. area, it's likely that cell phone services would be overwhelmed, and you may not be able to get in contact with your family directly. So one of the things we encourage people to do is select a person who lives out of state or out of the area that you, your spouses, your kids all know who to call, because it's much easier to make outgoing calls out of the area code than it is to call within the area code.
And all we have to do is remember back almost 7 years now to 9/11, when there was such difficulty all around the area, and the first thing that failed was the cell phone service around here, and for many people it was just impossible to get a hold of loved ones for many hours at a time, much less even say get out of the district or something like that when the word of an evacuation came. So you really need to think about how you're going to do and where you're going to be and what should be the plan if something happens.
Definitely, Dave. And something we have to help people do that is we have these little pocket guides. They're supplied through ready.gov, and they're basically little expandable guides. You can keep them in your wallet. They have numbers and important information that you should have at hand wherever you are, and this includes emergency numbers for family members, for schools, important information like allergies and addresses of hospitals, and it also includes the numbers for hotlines that you can reach, so you can get information about the disaster, where people should be moving, and where you can reunite at family relocation centers.
Priceless information there from Lauren Ohl-Trlica. Thanks so much for joining us from the Arlington County of Emergency Management, and it's stuff that we all